Hello, mi gente bella. Hello. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to finally be doing this. My first YouTube video. For some of you that know me, sorry, I'm just trying to lower the volume so y'all can hear me. Y'all, we use that here in Cali too. But I lived in Texas for 2 years, honey, so that kind of stuck with me. But anyways, you know, I have been wanting to do this channel for quite some time, so I'm excited about it. You know, I want to create this environment where, you know, we can all learn from each other and our experiences, you know. And for a long time I didn't film because I don't know, I was nervous. I was getting so much different input from different people that were on board, others that weren't on board. At the end of the day, you know what, God put this in my heart to do this, and that's really the only voice that counts, right? I mean, it's the only voice that I should give weight to when it comes to pursuing the things that He puts on my heart to do. So here we are. And let me apologize in advance if I keep looking away at myself, you know, because I'm still trying to get, you know, used to this. Well, y'all know what I'm saying. So please bear with me. I promise I will get better and more used to it, you know, as I film more. But really the story that I wanted to share with you is it's really my walk with God and how it's all come about. And you know, I'll start from how it all kind of came to take place. And it really was around the time that my parents were gonna be separating, or around the time that they were going, you know, through the separation, and you know, we knew eventually that would lead to the divorce. And so around that time, leading up to that time, I had been going out a lot, drinking a lot, you know, just doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing, you know. And at the time I had a lot of friends of mine who were actually older than I am, okay? And if you know, as a girl, as a woman, well, some of these women, you know, it's so easy to get an ID of someone older than you, and then you go to these, you know, different bars in the area, and then your friends know the bouncer, so, you know, they just kind of give them that look like, it's my girl, but, you know, let her in, you know. And they would, you know, and so, you know, that's kind of how I was out and about at these places that I shouldn't be at such a young age, because I had access to it, right? It was easy for me, you know. And but then that kind of, you know, it's like whoever you're connected to, you know, also kind of has to do with the type of access that you have, right, to certain places. The same way that if you're connected to entrepreneurial people, business owners, then all of a sudden you have access to their network, you have access to their contacts. So, and it works in the same way, you know. It's no lie when they say that who you're connected to can sometimes determine, you know, the stuff that you have access to, you know. So anyways, I was doing things I shouldn't, and I remember getting to a point where the drinking just didn't like fulfill me anymore. Like, it just wasn't as fun anymore, you know. It wasn't for me anymore, right? But as I'm going through this transition, as my parents are going through a divorce, as, you know, at that time, you know, one of my brothers was back and forth from Colombia. My other older brother stayed out there and hadn't seen him, and then my younger brother, you know, he dealt with the separation the best that he could. And so we all were dealing with the divorce, you know, as best as we could. I don't know. I think that now, as there's more awareness, people are understanding more the effect that a divorce can have on their children. I think that before it was kind of like taboo to even talk about it, you know. It was never really discussed, you know. But now, you know, people are raising their awareness and realizing that, you know, it really affects the entire family. It's not just the married people separating. It's the entire family is being thrown off by this, you know. So it was not an easy time frame for me, and as I'm going through, you know, these changes, that I'm all of a sudden not wanting to go out as much, all of a sudden not drinking as much, you know, my group of friends at the time were questioning it too, like, why don't you want to come out, or, you know, why are you not drinking, like, do you think you're better than us, or, you know, and no, but I was going through a transition, and sometimes, you know, people aren't so susceptible to, or, you know, they're not comfortable with change. So when a group of people are so used to doing certain things with you, that when you all of a sudden draw back, you know, you come across their resistance, right? Like, why are you not drinking? Why are you not smoking? Why are you not coming out with us anymore? And at that time, I was still in college, I was working full time, and I was also studying to get my real estate license. So I had a lot on my plate. You know, this was like when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. And so I was getting a lot of like backlash from my friends at the time. And eventually, like, those friends just started to dissipate, right? Like, the relationships broke off, my parents divorced, became official, they separated, and it just was not an easy time frame, you know. I stopped doing the things that I was doing, and then all of a sudden I find myself questioning, you know, what now? Like, I started to look for answers, right? I started to try to figure out, like, what is this about? What is this life about? You know? And growing up, you know, we would go to church. It was like, you know, the thing you do on Sunday, right? And when you're little, you don't really understand, you know, like, the relationship with God and with God, and who He is, and how much He loves you. And, you know, yeah, you go to church and you hear these things, but, like, it's almost a little bit more, like, complicated for us to hear these things, right? Or for us to understand when you're so little, especially when we're going through so much, right? When we're dealing with so much, you know, just chaos in our lives. And so I started going to church, and particularly going to Christian church, to a Christian church. And I went to a few of them, and every time I went, I remember I would always feel this peace that I didn't understand. This peace that when I was there, and, you know, they would be worship, you know, they're playing the worship music, and then the pastor would come on and, you know, deliver the sermon. You know, it made sense, right? Like, it sounded, you know, and mind you, at this time I'm 23 years old, a little older, you know, so I'm understanding some of the concepts that they're talking about how to apply biblical principles into our lives now. But then I kind of stopped going for a little bit, and, you know, because I'm questioning, right? I went to another church, stopped, and, you know, just trying to figure out who I am, and, like, you know, kind of to, like, fulfill this void that I had from lost friendships, from my parents separating, from not seeing one of my brothers, another brother, back and forth, and the other one dealing with things the best he could, and, you know, just so much, you know, again, just craziness, right? Confusion, right? And so I'm 23 years old, you know, at that time, and there was someone that I had on social media that I connected with, and, you know, this one woman, I'll mention her name in a second, but you know those people that, like, always show you love, right? Like, you post something and you know, they got your back on it or whatever. Well, she was one of those, right? So when she would post something, I showed love. When I posted something, she was always showing love. So of course I'm talking about the beautiful, lovely Melinda Delgado. I hope I said that right. I love you for watching this. You are my girl. You definitely have impacted my life in ways that you might never really even think about. But she invited me to small group, and she's like, you know, girl, you need to come to my house. I'm gonna have small group, you know, and just, you know, really like, you know, made it seem, oh, not made it seem, because it was like girl time, girl talk type of thing, but you know, she knew that I wasn't as plugged in to, you know, a church or something like that, to where, you know, I had a, you know, I was a baby in the faith, and she could see it. She totally saw it. But anyway, she invited me to her house. Mind you that prior to that, she had been invited me to go to church. She had been going to Destiny Church in the city of Indio, and also some another two other people, Naomi Avila and Raul Avila, who at the time when I met them, a little younger, I had got my life insurance license with Primerica, and they went to Destiny Church. So when Melinda told me she went to Destiny, I had already heard about Destiny. And so, you know, I'm like, okay, I know some people that, you know, two people, but I know someone that goes there. So, so anyways, long story short, I went to her small group. You know, we did talk about God and everything, but really, she kept it really, like, really open, and, you know, allowed us to kind of, you know, like, bring our guard down to be able to open up. And I'll never forget how our group started. At that time, it was Melinda, it was Angelica, who eventually took over the group, or Melinda passed it on to her and was my group leader, her beautiful mom, Maria, and myself. It was us four. And I remember thinking how amazing Angelica and her mom were, because they actually reminded me of my relationship with my queen. Mommy, I love you. If you're watching it until this point, I love you. You're my hero. So their relationship reminded me of me and my mom, because we're best friends. So I mean, she does get on my nerves sometimes, but you know, it's part of her mom role, right? And so anyways, it was us four, and Melinda just kept it so real, you know, like she wasn't, you know, because sometimes, unfortunately, like a lot of people, Christian people, sometimes, okay, I'm not trying to like start nothing here, but sometimes, you know, they'll walk around like everything is perfect, and it isn't, right? And so to see her just be so real about her situation at the time and her life made me think, man, you know, I'm not the only one. You know, I'm not the only one, you know, with crazy family and people addicted to drugs, and you know, separation, divorce, and anxiety and depression, and you know, all these other things, you know, heartbreak, you know, just, she just kept it so real, you know, and I so appreciated that, because it allowed me to connect with her, you know. And she invited me to church, you know, naturally, after our group meeting, and you know, she just embraced me and loved on me, and I just felt so welcomed, and in turn, I felt that I can be myself, that I can be honest with her, because she was with me. And so she invited me to church. I went, and man, little to say, what's that saying go? The rest is history. I was about to say the history is put to rest. Oh my gosh. Okay, I can't even think. Okay, let me get some water, honey, because she's a little thirsty. I just embarrassed myself. So anyways, I went. And now Destiny Church in Indio, oh my gosh, that place is my home away from home. Oh man, Pastor Obed and Pastor Lisette, you know, amazing people. Rabbi Brian, man, that his knowledge is insane. You know, all the pastors there, Pastor Mike, they're just absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful place there, and it's my home away from home. My life has not been the same since I have stepped foot there. Not to say it's been perfect, but to say that I no longer feel that I'm doing this alone, right? I know God is on my side. I know God is with me. And you know, it's confusing, you know, when you're a baby, when you're a baby in the faith, so to speak, you know, it's overwhelming. You know, I remember when I first started to open up the Bible and reading it, it was a second language to me. I mean, sometimes it can still feel that way, because there's so much, you know, to learn, and so much that you can look into and read and research and dig a little deeper to understand it fully. But it's overwhelming. So I understand when people come for the first time, or you know, your family goes for the first time, you know, it's all a second language, and they're, you know, you can't feed a baby a piece of steak because they can't chew it right. Okay, so like, it's almost the same thing spiritually. You know, when someone is a baby, you know, you feed them, you know, the applesauce, right? You give them what they can handle at the moment, and as they grow in their faith and in their walk with God, well, then you can, you know, start giving them a little chicken, a little, you know, a little fish, a little calamari, you know. I'm hungry. Okay, but y'all feel me, right? Y'all feel me, right? You know what I'm talking about. So but yeah, it can be overwhelming, but I encourage you that if you are new and you're just coming to finding out who God is, or, you know, beginning this relationship with Him, and you feel overwhelmed, I'm gonna like put you to ease right now, and know that the only thing that you should be, that you know, should be at the forefront of your mind, is that He loves you. Is that He loves you, and that you are the apple of His eye. Apple of His eyes? I said that right? But He loves you. Like, that's all you need to know. And as you grow and as you continue this journey with Him, the Holy Spirit will reveal to you everything that needs to be revealed to you. Okay? Just ask for it. You know, the Bible says that you have not because you ask not. Ask for it. Seek Him just humbly, and I promise you that you will be put to ease, because you will just know it in your heart that, okay, He's real. Like, I can feel Him, I can hear Him, I can sense Him, I feel His love, right? I feel His peace. So you know, don't give up. You know, hang in there. You know, get plugged into a good Bible-based church, and connect, you know, with them, with their small groups. You know, volunteer. You know, I used to volunteer. I almost started to volunteer at the youth ministry, but then I wanted to learn how to do media, because I wanted to do a YouTube channel. So I was like, okay, maybe I should go, you know, in that direction. So I got plugged in. I'll never forget that too. A quick little story about that. I went to church on a Sunday. Well, of course, you go to church on a Sunday, but that particular Sunday, it was my birthday. I think this was last year or 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago now. Oh my gosh, time goes by so fast. But anyways, it was my birthday. I went to church, and at the time, you know, one of the girls and women in my small group, she's like one of the head people of the media. And so I go up to her, never ever telling her, because I hadn't really said too much about me wanting to do a YouTube channel or anything like that. So I went to her and I'm like, yo, Amber. Her name is Amber, by the way. I love you, Amber. You're awesome. She is such a beautiful person. And I'm like, yo, Amber, I want to do the camera. When can I do the camera? And she's like, okay, come up here. I'm like, right now? Like now? You know, like, for reals? She's like, yeah, get up here. And I was like, OMG. So I run back to my seat, I grab my purse, and I was not gonna hesitate. I was like, of course I'll do it, you know. I was nervous. Of course, obviously she didn't put me on the main camera, she put me on the side camera, right? But man, it was awesome. You know, it's my birthday weekend, and then I finally got to do, like, hold the camera, you know, the side camera. But hey, you gotta start somewhere. And it was awesome. So, you know, definitely, you know, you want to plug in, and believe me, you'll learn a lot. You'll become family. You are family. And it's awesome, you know. Even on this journey, like, we're not guaranteed that things are going to be easy, right? Like, they're not. You know, my life hasn't been the same, but I am so grateful to God that I am not where I used to be. Okay, and it's almost like there's no mark of it, right? Praise the Lord for that, right? Or it could just be my baby face. So, but it's, again, like I was saying, no one is saying that life is going to be easy, but walking with God, it's like, you know, you're not alone, right? You know, you're walking with someone who has already gone before you, you know. And man, you know, I get excited for the people who are brand new, you know, plugging in on this journey. And even if you know, have already been on this walk with God for a long time, you know, hang in there, you know, hang in there, don't give up. And, you know, let us not forget to reach out to people and really show them what it is to be Christian, you know, and to be on this walk with the Lord, because we're called to love on people, you know. And so man, you know, I'm excited. I think about the times that I would go out and drink, and, you know, going out to clubs and doing all these things that maybe I should not have been doing. But, and then the divorce, my parents' divorce, and that whole thing, you know. And then, oh, something I hadn't even talked about was, like, around the same time, I had gotten my heart broken. You know, I dated someone for just a couple months and fell in love with this guy. And then he left to Puerto Rico and just disappeared on me. And I had never been heartbroken that way in my life. So it's like, not only did my parents go to divorce, but here I am with a broken heart. Here I am with, like, trying to understand this whole situation. All of a sudden, my friends, where are my friends anymore? So, you know, all of these things is, you know, it can be, you know, when you're going through these tough situations and you're doing it alone, it's not fun, you know. But now at this point, when I'm going through something just as difficult, you know, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all I do is pick up the Bible and pray and just talk to him about my situation. And I cannot tell you how, like, the difference in how I've handled this situation, the peace that I feel now, because I know that Jesus is with me. That's it. Okay, that is it. The Holy Spirit reveals things to me, and my relationship with God, at the end of the day, is what sustains me, you know. And so yeah, you know, I totally encourage you guys. I'm gonna link it somewhere in this video, a prayer if you want to. If you've been thinking about, you know, committing your life to God, short, simple, to the point, and sweet, I will be praying for you. So I'll link it, like I said, I'll leave a link here for you. And it will most likely be a worksheet or document you can download with a little prayer and a place to write as well. And man, you know, I tried to keep this a short video, but I just wanted to share with you, you know, I had taken notes. Not only could I not find them, but then I was like, you know, I know where they are, but I'm just gonna speak organically and just, you know, be honest about my situation, and just be real with you guys. You know, I want to create a space where we can learn from each other, you know, because I think one of the biggest lies of the enemy is to make us feel like we're alone, but we're not alone. And so definitely, you know, I love you guys. I'll be praying for you again. If you have any prayer requests, leave them down below. And man, thank you so much for watching, and I'm excited for my channel. And again, you know, subscribe. I'll link all my social media down below as well. And man, until the next video, guys, bendiciones, mi gente bella. I love you.